something to remember.
The way that we create some of the more wacky animations in any of our computer games is we act it out.
No, I'm the reason it's gonna end.
Oh.
No, I'm the reason it's gonna end.
Oh.
No, I'm the reason it's gonna end.
Oh.
No.
The animation department is made up of some very talented, classically trained animators who are used to being able to express themselves, and on a normal working day you'll see the animation department running around, rolling, acting, pushing people.
Hey, come on, Harry, buzz me through.
What you got there? Jeez, is this guy a mess or what?
That's nothing. You should have seen him before.
Guess he won't be dating again.
And like he's ever getting out. He's a psycho killer.
Sweet, what did he do?
That's classified.
I really know. Why do they keep losers like this alive anyways?
Lab once.
As what, crash test dummy?
Who knows? He's been wired up to a box all summer.
Hey, did you see that? Think he can hear us?
He can hear all he wants. Hey, Doc, more monkey juice over here.
More monkey juice over here.
Ah, yes, be careful with this one.
Be careful with that one. Let me see. Hold his arm above.
They're a bit bizarre, really, I suppose, from the outside if you watch them.
Hydrocar pipeline station, sir. More incoming.
So who exactly will John Vatic meet in his mission to discover the truth and flee his captors?
John Vatic's journey through the story of Second Sight, he meets up with a variety of characters. I guess the primary people that you deal with are your allies in the Winter Ice mission in the past.
Who were those guys?
Not Russian regulars, some kind of guerrilla force.
And that's kind of, it's fun because we got to introduce you to a squad in a kind of training environment. So you meet them all individually and they have their own little specialities. So there's weapons and kind of like, there's the sniper and there's the communications guy, whatever. So you kind of meet up with all of them, and we wanted to have this thing where we kind of got you to meet all your friends and then tell you that things had gone pretty badly for your friends, and that perhaps everyone was thinking it was your fault that it had gone badly for them. So it's again, it's a kind of like a motivational thing.
Let's take a moment to have a closer look at some of the special powers John Vatic will be using to save both himself and his comrades in arms.
A big thing for us and a big exciting feature of the game are the psychic powers. John acquires them one by one as he goes through the game, and we kind of like build up your psychic toolkit as you go through. The first thing we introduce is telekinesis. Really, that is that's probably the single most useful power you have, and also probably the most interesting in terms of gameplay. So really, it manifests itself initially through the ability to remotely activate switches, things like that, and then to manipulate props, so to pick up, say, a case or a TV or something and throw it around. And with that, it opens up a lot of fun things you can do. So if there's an enemy in the game or another character, I can throw the thing at them, try and hit them with it and damage them that way. Or you can be much more subtle. I could remotely manipulate, say, the door on a cupboard or something, so the guard goes to look what's going on and then I slip past him. Or maybe the guy just freaks out when he sees the thing bobbing around in front of his face, and you can use that to scare people. That then becomes a bit stronger as you go through the game, to the extent that you can then use it on live people.
Return to your posts. Vatic has left the area.
So the psychic healing ability basically allows John at any time to transfer his psychic health into real physical health. And that was very freeing in terms of setting up the gameplay of the game, because we're no longer in a position where you have a level where, in many games, if you screw up in one bit, take a bit of damage, it's kind of like you're going to press restart, you want to go back, or you're scavenging around for health packs and things. We don't have that. We let him go through, take damage, recover. Allows us to make it a lot more kind of freeform for the person playing the game. You can experiment, you can get hurt, but still get through the level. Also allows us to make it a lot harder in some places, because later in the game we can throw a lot of stuff at you, because we know that if you balance your psychic powers you can kind of recover from it. It also, a big thing in the game is also interacting with other characters, and the healing ability. At times in the game you have someone else with you, and you use your psychic healing in order to protect them and to keep them alive. So works for others.
Thanks, Vatic.
The other psychic abilities are the kind of psychic attack abilities, which are, they're kind of more fanciful and more kind of like psychic shotgun effect. I do this, I knock a guy across the room. Also, there's an upgrade to that, which is kind of like a psychic radial blast, which is almost like a panic button. When John's really hemmed in and everyone's closed in on him with the gun's pointing at his head, you can do this thing and just knock everyone flying and then run. Obviously, it has a big psychic cost to you, so it's kind of like balanced in the gameplay. The charm ability is the kind of improvised stealth ability. So anywhere in the game when you have this, you can use charm to effectively become invisible to people. It carries a penalty, but if you try to use it, if you're standing right in front of someone and you can't try and pull off this kind of Houdini, I'm not really here, then it just wipes out. You can't do that. It also doesn't work against remote kind of mechanical monitoring devices, so I can be trying to sneak through a room, tippy-tippy on the charm, going past the people, but if there's a camera there, then the whole thing will go wrong for you. So it's kind of like you up the stakes if you're using charm. The projection ability is our kind of interpretation of the astral travel thing, which is a kind of traditional psychic ability, as it were. That's fun because it opens up a lot of abilities for us to do kind of dual key puzzles, where maybe you have to activate something in some place while you are somewhere else. Some timing puzzles, and then we also juice up the projection by turning it into a possession. That means I take my projected character and I move into another one's body, take control of someone. That's a lot of fun. So you take NPCs, you can move them out of the way, you can make them shoot at each other. It opens up a lot of ways of dealing with the kind of setup and the level and working your way through. If you want to run and gun, you can run and gun. If you want to sneak around, you can sneak around. What's fun is when you kind of combine them. So, telekinesis. I pick some guy up, I hold him up in the air, I switch to my gun and I can shoot him then. I mean, we were playing the other day and there's a fun thing I suggest people go and do in the game.
The company helping to bring the power and the carnage of Second Sight to the public are international games publishers, Codemasters.
Codemasters was very interested in Second Sight because obviously coming from a developer like Free Radical with such a good track record, with good titles behind them, that for a starter was something that we were very interested in. But also given that Second Sight is such an original title, the storyline is so integral to it, it's driven by the storyline, it's quite filmic in its style. Obviously the psychic powers element is something that's very different and up until now hasn't been done in quite the way that it's been introduced in Second Sight. I think that when you combine all of those elements, it seemed like an incredibly strong title and something that we were interested in pursuing.
But with the action games marketplace already flooded, how will Second Sight stand out from the crowd?
With Second Sight having created this fairly rich environment to play through the story of the game, we didn't feel it was necessary to go and put cheats in the game. I think for people playing it, the replayability will come from going back and doing things in different ways.
Second Sight stands apart, I think, from games that are coming out because it's very story-based and the story has been really worked into the game. So it's not just sort of tacked on as an afterthought, it's very much integral to how the game plays and how you progress through the game.
I guess one of the things that works really well in a game for me is you kind of want people to be doing aspirational, cool things. And the more you can show the player that they're doing a cool thing, the more rewarding it is for them.
You're about to take a journey of discovery. with new challenges, goals, and most of all, new powers. You've had a glimpse into the life of John Vadik, and it's time for you to take control of that life. Thank you for joining us in this look into Second Sight.